father told me not to have kids. Yes, he said that. But for you to take that and make that a joke is not a fucking game. It's not fucking funny. Yes, my father said, do not have kids.
I'm no hero for talking about Johnny Somali. I'm just every other person on the planet. I'm sorry if my voice sounds off, I literally just woke up. You'll also notice that I have a Tozy and Legal Mindsets video playing in the background of today's commentary because I have been glued to their channels non-stop. For over a year, I've been following the Johnny Somali case, and I can't resist myself from talking about it further because he just keeps making an ass out of himself. But before I do start, I want to say follow a Tozy and Legal Mindset. They are both great creators on YouTube. They're part of the reason I'm even able to cover Johnny Somali in the first place. I also just think their content is amazing, so without any further ado, let's begin. Hit that subscribe button. It's free. So in a Tozy's video, he reveals something that's extremely sad about Johnny Somali, and that's the fact that he's not being paid by Party. This is a big deal because Party was the main source of income for Johnny Somali. That means as of recently, Johnny Somali is just doing all this stuff for free, which is extremely sad because that means he's doing all this for just clout.
This seems to have kind of driven the guy crazy because now he's basically broke, banned on every streaming platform, so because of that, he has no real way of making any decent money. We found out that he wasn't being paid on Party, meaning he did this whole shirtless dancing stunt and then got arrested for zero upside. Not only is he the dumbest influencer, but also the most pathetic. But what he seemingly doesn't realize is the more felonies he documents himself doing, the more charges he'll inevitably get.
I'd also like to point out that while Johnny Somali's in Korea, he claims to have been sleeping with Korean women and not getting tested. Apparently, Johnny does this with the goal of spreading as many STDs as possible.
If Korea does not let me out of Korea, I'm telling you right now, it is a danger to the Korean women. I have had so much with Korean women while I've been locked here. I don't wear any when I these Korean women. I don't get any STD tests while I these Korean women. I don't get any STD tests when I these Korean women. And I make sure to spread whatever I have to all of these Korean women. And the police can't stop me. The government can't stop me.
I want to say there's a good chance none of this is true, and the reason I say that is because this is Johnny up close. The chance of Johnny sleeping with somebody is the same chance you have at winning the lottery. You couldn't pay me enough to get close to this guy.
Does he think that will help him? That is a crazy thing to say when you're in a criminal trial. Now, I would be worried for the Korean citizens if he could pull anything else but his roommate Hank. I don't know why, but it's always the dudes who get zero play who brag about getting so much play. And again, he is his own star witness to that as well, because he admitted he doesn't get anything there. I mean, the guy is even denied from the places where you pay for it.
I haven't had pussy since fucking, September.
Okay, do you guys want to know what happened when I went to the red light district with Hank? I'll tell y'all the story. The other day we went to the red light district, and the reason I didn't stream it is because every single we met in the red light district was like, no black, no black, no black.
I can see the concern on this person behind them. This is the most concerned I've ever seen someone on the bus, and I live in the city.
But when I go to Japan in 2029, I'm going to pull a Harrison. I kind of like what Harrison is doing. I like how Harrison is doing the super spreader stuff. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to say it right here to the camera. I'm not scared. If I ever caught HIV, I would become a super spreader. I'll say it right now. I don't care. If I ever caught HIV, I'm going to become a super spreader.
Johnny, you're not going to become a super spreader. You can't even get sex when you pay for it. And I know damn well that you haven't contracted anything because let's be real, you haven't done anything. The most action I've ever seen you get is when you follow women and they run away from you on stream. And if you think that's sad, don't even worry because Johnny Somali recently got disowned by his entire family. He was even told by his own father to not reproduce.
Why would you not be proud of this? Why would you not be proud of this? The only thing I'm really tripping over is because my dad told me he does not want me to have kids. He literally said, do not reproduce.
Yeah, that seems like a pretty normal response when your child is Johnny Somali.
So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to just go back to crashing out. Y'all don't like me anyway. I'll make a new family. You can't choose your family, guys, but you can make a new one.
My father told me not to have kids. Yes, he said that. But for you to take that and make that a joke is not a fucking game. Stop fucking funny. Yes, my father said, do not have kids. He did say that. I'm gonna be honest. He did say that. I don't care.
Johnny, even for your standards, you can't be serious right now. So because it's your life, it's not funny. Also, I'm sorry if anything sounds off in the audio. I have a stuffy nose right now. But I just have to point this out. Do you guys remember when Johnny Somali went to Israel and then harassed a female officer? And not only that, threatened to grab her by the you-know-what, but not only that, he danced on the Statue of Peace and then brought baby oil. If you don't know what the Statue of Peace is, it's basically a Korean monument to commemorate the women during World War II who were sold into a certain type of slavery to Japan. Johnny Somali makes fun of SA victims all the time, but the second someone does something to him, it's not funny. I'm gonna be honest, Johnny, I laughed. I don't think you should reproduce. I'm sorry this section has audio that's all over the place. I had to re-record this like 10 times. But Johnny Somali chose a parasocial relationship with viewers who don't even like him. His entire chat hates him, by the way. They try to get him arrested every single time he streams. Over his entire family. He chose these people over his freedom. He put his entire life in jeopardy just because he wanted to be edgy for 10 seconds. And then on top of that, he threatens YouTubers who cover him, just like he did with Legal Mindset.
Legal mindset. I don't need to fight that. I'll walk past it, inject them with some HIV blood with a needle. Legal mindset.
See, that's a very specific threat against a very specific person. That's actually against me. So that is what you would call, and that's a threat. And that's what you call a pinprick attack, which is, you can Google it. There's actually Wikipedia pages about it. There's stuff like that about it. That is very much criminal to threaten, to talk about. And in many countries, there's actually specific statutes that relate to that legally.
He is 100% correct. I looked into the pinprick attacks to see if Korea had anything specific about them, and it seems like they don't. But at least in my state, they will give you a 10-year sentence because that does count as a form of assault. So in theory, if Johnny were to follow through with this attack, he will land himself another 10 years in prison. I'm not sure if he can get any charges for the threat of it, but if he can, hopefully he does.
These dudes are for some reason still acting like they're in America. Meanwhile, Hank was deported from the US. He can't even be here legally. And Johnny can't legally engage in any political protests in South Korea, and that's exactly what he's doing here with his buddy Hank, waving around some CCP flag and stomping on other flags for attention online. But Hank ends up actually getting fined for this. And all of this went down in a 9-hour-long live stream. But throughout this stream, it becomes more and more noticeable that Hank is upset with this fine. And this is the first time that he's received legal repercussions for hanging out with Johnny. And let's be real, the only reason they're out doing this was to entertain Johnny's viewers. But Johnny, he was gonna make it up to him with a couples massage, but not before they do a desktop stream first. And here, he announces when he's finished with the Johnny Somali shtick, he'll be a doctor.
I think I'm gonna go to medical school after this Johnny Somali arc is over.
It's about time Hank gets some charges. He's been encouraging Johnny's shit for way too long, but also, if Johnny becomes a doctor, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Imagine they just put you under for a serious medical procedure and the last thing you see is Johnny Somali's face. The moment I wake up, if I even wake up at all, I'm suing for malpractice because I know he messed something up. But that's what I have to say about Johnny's current situation. If you have the time, please watch Atozy and Legal Mindset's videos. They're both amazing creators. But once again, I want to thank everybody for the support. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel as it really does help me out, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later.